Welcome to AK Anime Explainer. Today is explanation of Soul Land 3, Legend of the Dragon King Part 138. Without any delay, start explanation. This time it'll be different, said Tang Wulin, smiling as he attempted to soothe Enea's worries. We both have soul communicators now, so just give me a call whenever you miss me. You can come out and visit me too. I won't be able to travel here to see you though. The only reason I was at Sea God's Island to begin with was because of special circumstances. He ruffled her hair. I stay at the Outer Court's working students' dormitory. You can find me there. Okay. Enea threw herself into Tang Wulin's arms, locking him in a tight embrace. Big brother, no matter what challenges you face, do your best for me. You have to become strong. I'll be waiting for you here. Of course. I'll step foot on Sea God's Island with my own qualifications next time. Tang Wulin declared, youthful passion flaring. With their goodbyes said, Tang Wulin wasted no more time and left. Minutes after his figure had disappeared, Enea still stood there, glued to the floor, looking in the direction he had departed. Her eyes betrayed a deep sorrow. How are you doing? Your brother left. The voice, though gentle, snapped Enea out of her daze. She responded with a nod. From the corner of her eye, she could make out a fair white hand landing on her shoulder. You're both still young. A squeeze. You have plenty of time in the future. You foolish girl, your teacher is going to get jealous if you show so much attachment to him. Enea looked up, pouting. Mistress, I really like you and teacher too. Had Tang Wulin been present, he would have been shocked out of his wits. The woman beside Enea was the vice master of Sea God's Pavilion, the kindest woman on the continent, Holy Delor Yoli. Yoli responded by wrapping her arms around Enea. I like you too. Your teacher and I don't have any children of our own, so we see you as our own daughter. Don't worry. Your big brother is an excellent student. He'll definitely enter the inner court one day. All right. Thank you, mistress. But can't you just let him into the inner court right now? I think Big Brother is strong enough, Enea said, hope in her eyes. Yoli sighed and shook her head. Now isn't the right moment. He's still an unpolished gem. He needs more time to refine himself first. He won't be able to do that here. For that same reason, your teacher and I have been preparing to send you out to gain experience. Spending all of your time cultivating here will stunt your future growth. Wait another year. Then we'll send you out. No. I don't want to leave you and teacher. Her cheeks puffed up as she returned Yoli's hug, squeezing tighter for good measure. By the time Tang Wulin reached the working students' dormitory, Shu Lishi had already returned. Lishi. Tang Wulin smiled as he approached his friend. Where did you and Xinglan go? How come I didn't see either of you the entire break? Shu Lishi chuckled. Big Sis Xinglan was cultivating in a place well suited for her, and since I can cultivate my martial soul anywhere I want, I followed her. Both of us just got back actually. Now then, Captain, it looks like you broke through again. Shu Lishi could tell that something about Tang Wulin was different. The changes were minute, and most people would have missed them, but Shu Lishi possessed keen senses. Tang Wulin was a bit taller, sturdier too. And his aura seemed strangely subdued. You're right. Tang Wulin grinned. It's just a minor breakthrough though. Nothing special. I've been focusing completely on cultivating lately. Nice. I never thought there would be so much pressure even in the outer court. We've got quite a few foreign people in our class already. We got to keep up. Are Xiaoyan and Gu back yet? And where's Xie? Shu Lishi shrugged. I haven't seen Xiaoyan or Gu. Xie ran out early in the morning and I've yet to see him since. Yu Jingyu's back in his room though. And Yuanan too, I think. Got it. I'll go pay them a visit then. Tang Wulin still had his promise to Yuan and Yehue to fulfill. Yuan and Yehue's door was shut tight. Ever since Xie had peeped on her, she had secluded herself in her room. She wouldn't even open the curtains during the day. Tang Wulin knocked on the door. You in? A beat later the door swung open. She watched him like a hawk through the doorway. Back so soon? Tang Wulin nodded. I'm planning on forging the metal for you now. Nothing changed about the requirements. She shook her head. No. But the higher the quality, the better. Tang Wulin smiled wryly. I'll do my best. It's been a while since I've forged, so I'll need some time to get back into the groove of things. No rush. If there isn't anything else, I'm going back to cultivating. Before she could usher him out, Tang Wulin asked, Do you know where Xie went? Her face went cold. I don't know. You guys are roommates. What are you asking me for? Tang Wulin averted his eyes sheepishly. I'm sorry about what happened last time. But it was a misunderstanding and we're all classmates, so Yuan and Yehue slammed the door on him. Tang Wulin rubbed his nose, aware of just how close he came to having it broken. Whatever. I'll just go forge first. It's been a while since I touched my hammers. I can't wait. A smile tugged at the corner of his mouth. The image of Feng Wuyu, proud as he stormed Shuisha's home, still flashed vividly in his mind. Feng Wuyu wasn't supervising Tang Wulin's blacksmithing at the moment. All of his teachers told him the same thing, he needed to increase his soul power. That was his greatest weakness. Right before he left for the workshop, he received a call with good news. From Mo Lan's husband. After the call ended, Tang Wulin practically leaped into the air cheering. Big sis Mo Lan is awake. Yes. Besides still missing some of her mental faculties, she recognized all of her loved ones. This was fantastic considering the condition she was in. The Holy Spirit Dolor was also informed and would be paying her a visit sometime soon. It looked like Mo Lan would make a full recovery. Captain, what's got you so happy? Xu Xiaoyan asked as she walked onto dormitory grounds, inquisitive. Tang Wulin beamed. One of my friends recovered, so I'm happy for her. Xu Xiaoyan felt herself smiling as well. That's great. I'm going to put away my things first then. A month had passed, and while none of them had changed drastically, Tang Wulin could tell that Xu Xiaoyan held herself with more confidence than before. Her bearing had elevated ever since her martial soul evolved. Her sense of inferiority had been slowly washed away. With her 3 stellar soul skills, her crowd control abilities were absolute. A force that could turn the tide of battle. They were all maturing rapidly. There was no other choice in Shrek Academy. They couldn't afford to waste a single moment. Such a competitive environment would drive anyone into having tunnel vision, bent on self-improvement. The moment Tang Wulin walked out the dormitory's gates, he ran into another acquaintance. Luo Guixing. Hello, class president, Luo Guixing said. Guixing, what are you doing here? Are you applying to become a working student too? Tang Wulin asked, a quirk of a smile on his lips. Ever since Tang Wulin and his team defeated the 5 rankers in his class, his prestige had skyrocketed. And it didn't stop there. After their victory against the 2nd grade, there wasn't anyone left who could shake his position as the class president. His relationship with the rankers had improved as well. In the end, they were still classmates. There was no need to burn bridges over a class competition. I wanted to invite you to have a friendly match with us. It is a new semester after all, and we've been cultivating at Shrek for a year now. It's a good opportunity to practice. What do you say? Luo Guixing said, a friendly smile on his face. Tang Wulin smiled at Luo Guixing. You guys still aren't convinced? Want another go at it? Luo Guixing shrugged. We just want to see how much we've grown, and you guys are the best opponents to compare our strength with. Even though we probably won't win, we still want to try. We've been training our asses off to reach you guys. Tang Wulin nodded. All right. When? How about tomorrow afternoon? We'll have nothing to do tomorrow after the morning opening ceremony. The losers pay for the arena rental fee. What do you say? Sounds good, said Tang Wulin, a quirk to his lips. It was good to compare notes with his classmates, and he had absolute confidence in his comrades. Class president, you better not underestimate us. We've grown a lot stronger. Our teamwork has improved too. We won't make the same mistake as last time. A sheepish smile slid across Luo Guoxing's lips. But how about you guys lay off that soul fusion skill? It's just too overpowered. Plus, isn't the backlash quite large? Tang Wulin chuckled, soft and low. Guoxing, the way you're talking just shows how little confidence you got. You don't have any chance of winning to begin with if you keep this up. He saw right through Luo Guoxing, his little plans and schemes. Luckily for his classmate, he didn't plan on using the Dragon God transformation anyway. Old Tang had advised him not to. Great. CYA tomorrow. And off Luo Guoxing went. As soon as he was gone, Tang Wulin made his way to his workshop. He didn't bother notifying his friends about the challenge. Despite having not forged for a while, he was surprised at how much better the hammers felt in his hands than before. He chalked it up to the improvement in his blood essence and senses, and having some time to settle down. His alloy forging success rate increased, as well as the quality of his products. After an afternoon of work, he produced a piece with a harmony rate of 89%, which prompted a grin from Yuan and Yehui upon his delivery. By the time he finished and left for his dormitory, it was already evening. Xie wasn't anywhere to be seen and Ji Yu had yet to return. Tang Wulin knitted his brows, concern tickling his heart. He pulled out his soul communicator and called Ji Yu. Wulin? She picked up immediately. His body instantly relaxed at the sound of her voice. Yeah. It's me. School starts tomorrow. How come you aren't back yet? Where are you? Hee. I'm almost there. I've got you some tasty treats. Just wait a moment and I'll see you. I'll meet you at the gates, Tang Wulin blurted out. It surprised him, this impatience in his heart, and he hadn't a clue why those words left his mouth. Okay. Tang Wulin leaped off his bed, threw on some shoes, and ran out of his room, the door slamming shut behind him. And Xu Lixi had watched him leave, a wry smile forming on his lips. During his sprint, Tang Wulin bumped into Xie as soon as he was one step off the dormitory grounds. Whoa? Boss, you're back? Xie asked. Drenched in sweat and coated with dust, he cut quite the sorry figure. His hair was sticking to his face in a disheveled mess, his complexion a bit pale. What have you been up to? You're a mess, Tang Wulin said, looking Xie up and down. Xie's eyes lit up. It's a secret. Fine. Tang Wulin knew when not to pry. He waved Xie goodbye and continued running toward the academy gates. A few moments later, Xie found himself in front of a sink. He washed his face of sweat and dust. Rinsed his hair. He turned off the sink and felt refreshed, the water still dripping from his face and hair. It made him cringe to think about the training he put himself through. But he could only blame himself. If he hadn't been so quick to ask Liang Xiaoyu for guidance that day, he wouldn't have to endure such excruciating training. But still, he persisted, excitedly even. Under Liang Xiaoyu's watchful eye, he felt himself quickly growing stronger each day. He was discovering the potential hidden within his body and martial souls, the training drawing out more and more of it. Contrary to what he had first thought, he wasn't weak or untalented. Xie just hadn't understood the essence of his martial souls yet, or what it meant to be an agility type. Naturally, after being under the man's guidance, Xie had learned of his identity. On the second day of training, Liang Xiaoyu had brought him to a specialized training facility. And it belonged to the agility hall of the Tang sect's 3 outer halls. The rising sun of the West Mountain, Liang Xiaoyu was actually the master of the agility hall. He was tasked with intelligence gathering, public relations, and keeping tabs on the markets. The scope of his responsibilities was huge, countless bullet points needed to detail all of them. The agility hall exclusively recruited agility types, and Xie had been scouted by Liang Xiaoyu. He was now an associate of the agility hall, and under Liang Xiaoyu's guidance, walking the true path of an agility type. The old Xie wouldn't have been able to endure such harsh training, but after the incident with Yuan and Yehui, a burning desire to grow stronger appeared within him. His tenacity astonished Liang Xiaoyu. He put his all into his training every day, not stopping until his body was spent and on the verge of collapse. He had always treated his opponents with a touch of ruthlessness, but now he was directing that merciless edge at himself. He didn't allow himself to make any excuses. No matter what it took, he would achieve his goal to surpass Yuan and Yehui, defeat her, and marry her. Everyone needed a goal. A goal to strive for, to struggle for. The greater it was, the harder the struggle. With a goal branded on his heart now, Xie had nothing holding him back anymore. He embraced the pain and exhaustion, even if he was a husk of himself after training. These were all signs of growth. As Xie had washed up and ran through his thoughts, Yuan and Yehui stood at the edge of her window, peeking out through a crack in the curtains. Her gaze never left him. She had been drawn to the window after hearing the voices of Tang Wulin and Xie. Just where has that bastard been lately? Tang Wulin slowed his jog as he approached the gates, stopping just past them. He looked around, scanning for Guu. But she wasn't there yet. It had been a month since he last saw her. Even so, he still remembered her face clearly. What's going on with me? Why am I thinking about her so much? As he was reflecting, a luxurious black car pulled up to the gates. The driver got out and opened the passenger door. Guu stepped out of the car. Once she saw Tang Wulin, a dazzling smile blossomed on her face. She beckoned to him, then walked to the trunk of the car. Tang Wulin jogged over. Why are you back so late? I had some stuff to do. I couldn't come back until I finished it all. Here, look at what I got you, Guu said as she pulled out a few boxes from the trunk and handed them to Tang Wulin. From the weight of the boxes, Tang Wulin could tell they were packed full. What's in them? Open them and see for yourself. They should still be warm. Tang Wulin placed them on the car's roof and lifted the lids. An appetizing aroma struck him. What is that? It smells delicious. He peered inside. There were 9 large dishes of food split between the 3 boxes, in addition to 20 steamed buns. I didn't want to make too many. I was afraid they'd get all messed up on the road. They should be enough to fill you up though. Have you eaten dinner yet? They had walked into a nearby garden at this point, and Guu placed the boxes over a stone table. Not yet, Tang Wulin said. He followed behind her, his eyes glued to the boxes. Let's eat first before heading back then. Okay. Unable to restrain himself any further, he grabbed a steamed bun and threw it into his mouth. Amazing. So good. After years of gluttony, Tang Wulin was an expert on fine food. Yet to his surprise, the bun could stand its ground against the extremely nutritious black buns his grand teacher had fed him. That's a wild sea cucumber. It's really nutritious. It's pretty big too. Probably at least 20 years old. Tang Wulin examined the ingredients of the dishes as he ate. The other dishes weren't quite as delicious as the buns, but the ingredients used were all treasures. He had nothing to complain about, a huge grin on his face as he gorged himself. Guu watched Tang Wulin eat in silence, a faint smile on her lips. After every finished plate, she swiftly replaced it with a new one. They sat close to the academy gates, lost in their own little world. A while later, all of the food in the 3 boxes was gone, swept within Tang Wulin. Are you full? Guu asked, eyeing his barely bulging stomach, his capacity to eat more still apparent. Tang Wulin nodded. Yeah. There weren't many dishes, but they were all very filling. Where did you even get all that? Must have cost a small fortune. Guu's smile grew a crack wider. I made them. All of them. I've been practicing how to cook at home. I think I did pretty well, judging by how good everything smelled. You really cooked all those dishes by yourself? Tang Wulin's eyes went wide. For people like them, students of Shrek Academy, time was their most valuable resource. Yet Gu had spent her vacation learning how to cook for his sake. Warmth washed over him. He looked her straight in the eye. Just giving his thanks was not enough, could not be enough to begin expressing his gratitude. He stood up and helped her tidy up the boxes, then stored them into his storage ring. Let's go, he said, beckoning to her. The two walked back to the dormitory shoulder to shoulder, enjoying the evening air. The moon shone bright in the sky, meeting the street in a soft spray, peeking through the branches of the trees. Neither Gu or Tang Wulin spoke a word. In Tang Wulin's heart, Gu felt different from before. Something had changed since the last time he saw her. After spending the last month hard at work cultivating, and even reuniting with Enea, he had felt worried when Gu had failed to appear. Then she returned, and joy flooded his heart. He had never experienced anything like it. A single glance, and Tang Wulin was treated with a spectacular sight. Moonlight shimmered around Gu, accentuating her delicate features. While she wasn't the most beautiful of girls, at that moment, he was enchanted. What are you looking at? Gu asked, aware of his heated gaze. Tang Wulin smiled. You? Gu blinked. I'm not that pretty. What's there to look at? That's where you're wrong. You are pretty, Tang Wulin said, his smile growing bigger. Gu knit her brows together, lowering her head in thought. She clenched her fists, then slowly unclenched them. They kept silent and resumed their trek to their dormitory. Big sis Gu. Xu Xiaoyan had called out to them the moment she saw them, dragging Gu into the girls' room. But Tang Wulin had other ideas. Once standing at the center of the dormitory courtyard, Tang Wulin shouted, "Everybody! Please come out for a moment. I have something important to talk about." Xu Xiaoyan, Gu, and Yi Xinglan immediately left their room. Xie Xie and Xu Luji also responded, rushing out of the room meant for the boys. To Tang Wulin's surprise, even Yuan and Yehui and Yu Jingyu left the comfort of their rooms. Though he probably shouldn't have been too shocked. Yuan and Yehui did slightly warm up to him after he had delivered the spirit alloy to her. Of course, that was only with Tang Wulin. Her attitude hardly changed towards Xie Xie. Sorry, this doesn't involve you guys. It's just a class matter, Tang Wulin said to his upperclassmen. Yu Jingyu chuckled. It's fine. I'll still listen in. Just consider me a little spy. Let me tell you, the second-grade students still aren't convinced of your strength. Who knows if there'll be a chance for a rematch this year? Tang Wulin shrugged. Well, we're happy to take your points whenever you want. Well? Sure are confident, aren't ya? Have you grown stronger recently? Yu Jingyu said, a teasing grin on his lips. Tang Wulin rolled his eyes. You got your fourth ring yet? Yu Jingyu puffed out his chest. He didn't say a word, but his display of confidence was answer enough. We're not too far from 4 rings either, Tang Wulin said. If you guys still can't accept your loss, then we'll show you exactly the true meaning of power. Yu Jingyu glanced at Yuan and Yehui. She had remained silent throughout the exchange. As the class president of the second grade, only she could speak for their class. Tang Wulin moved on, turning to face his teammates. Luo Guixing paid me a visit today. His team challenged us. The match is tomorrow afternoon. Prepare yourselves. Oh. Xu Xiaoyan nodded, not a word more. Xie Xie was a different picture. Yes, he shouted, bubbling with excitement. His captain's words brought forth the image of Xu Yuqing pop to mind. In their last battle, he had managed to incapacitate Xu Yuqing at the cost of himself. But Xie Xie had changed, had become stronger, more confident. He was eager to discover the winner of their next exchange. A good chance to practice, Yi Xinglan said, a faint glint to her eyes. You've got your spirit soul now? Tang Wulin asked. Yi Xinglan nodded. I'm down for it, Guu said. If they can't accept their loss, then we'll beat them until they do. Shulishi chuckled. None of them had any reservations about the match. They may have struggled the last time they faced the rankers, but now was a completely different story. Wu Sidwa likely had grown much stronger, but that held true for them as well. The perfect chance to verify the results of their training. Soon enough, night descended, yet instead of returning to his room, Tang Wulin hid himself within the woods, cultivating amidst plant and tree. For this was the best environment for his cultivation. Tang Wulin had the lowest soul power among his teammates. Even after breaking the fourth seal, he was only at rank 35. Xu Xiaoyan had surpassed him a while ago with the incident at the observatory, reaching rank 37. Xu Lixi and Xie were both rank 38, Ji Yu rank 39, and Yi Xinglan rank 41. Tang Wulin was far behind his teammates. Although he could supplement his strength with the power of the Golden Dragon King, soul power was still the basis of strength for soul masters. He resolved himself to forge less over the next semester and devote more time to cultivating. In addition to improving his body, Tang Wulin's consumption of nutritious foods aided his soul power cultivation. As for his spiritual power, he wasn't worried about it. It was steadily growing ever since he attained the Spirit Sea realm. Through the night, Tang Wulin slowly consolidated and strengthened his soul power. Only when the birds began to chirp and the first glimmers of dawn peeked over the horizon did he wake. He gazed at the dawning sun, sweeping his gaze over Xie, Xu Xiaoyan, Xu Lixi, and Yi Xinglan, who just joined him in the forest. They cultivated purple demon eyes together, gazing upon the purple wisps. They shared in the sensation of their spiritual power pulsing, growing by the tiniest amount. A faint mist surrounded their eyes before entering. Reaching the Spirit Sea realm didn't seem like much to most soul masters, but in reality the change penetrated into every aspect of life. Before reaching this realm, although Tang Wulin could tell that his spiritual power was growing whenever he cultivated his purple demon eyes, he could not discern by how much. Now, however, he could. He was certain his spiritual power was growing faster than before. He thought of Ji Yu, who had attained the Spirit Sea realm long ago. He could only guess her current level. Taking in a deep breath, Tang Wulin used the mysterious heaven method. The gentle surge of energy cleared his mind. This was his daily life now. Captain, you don't need to cultivate here at night. There are lots of plants, but the life and natural energies are lacking. You should rent a specialized cultivation space from the academy like I do. Xu Lixi said. Blinking a few times, Tang Wulin asked, a specialized cultivation space? Yeah. Wait. You do know what they are, right? All you have to do is pay the academy some points and you get to use a personalized cultivation space. It's been a whole year. Do you really not know that? Tang Wulin groaned. Of course he knew. The teachers had mentioned it when they first came to Shrek Academy. Shrek Academy had a variety of private cultivation spaces suited for all types of soul masters available for rent. However, all things came at a cost, and these cultivation spaces were especially expensive. Too much for Tang Wulin to have even considered using until now. He had always been embarrassingly low on money and points, needing every single bit to purchase metals for forging and spirit items for breaking his seals. That left him with no resources to increase his cultivation efficiency. As he recalled, these cultivation spaces cost 100 points per hour. To put that in perspective, a single day of cleaning Spirit Ice Plaza netted 100 points. Fortunately for him, after reaching the 6th rank of blacksmithing, things were different now. His alloy forging success rate had skyrocketed. Enough so that he had a positive net income. Even so, 100 points per hour was practically highway robbery. You think that's expensive? Yi Xinglan asked, able to discern Tang Wulin's inner turmoil with just a glance. Tang Wulin coughed. I'm just afraid of wasting my money. You don't have to worry about that. The rental is well worth the price. You should give it a try. Tang Wulin nodded. Fine. I will. If it really is effective, then I can bear the cost. he still had a batch of spirit alloys waiting to be sold. And with the semester just started, he could offload the metals for a nice amount. Since he had a forging agreement with Yu Jingyu, he didn't have to worry about the cost of raw materials either. His sole concern was affording the spirit items needed to break the fifth seal. He could spare the rest of his points of cultivation resources. I'll try it tonight. Tang Wulin resolved himself. But for now, it's breakfast time. I'm starving. Following the beginning of the new semester was the reopening of the dining hall. And it couldn't have come soon enough, especially for Tang Wulin. After gobbling up his breakfast, he attended the opening ceremony. It was simple enough. With 6 classes, 1 for each of the 6 grades, the whole assembly only contained several hundred students. Elder Cai spared few words and casually praised Tang Wulin's team for their victory against the Imperial Sun Moon Soul Engineering Academy. Then the ceremony concluded. The teachers led their students back to their respective classrooms, marking the start of the semester. Naturally, close congregation of students led to conversations, and conversations led to gossip. Shenyi's class was no exception. Have you heard? Luo Guixing and the other rankers challenged the class president's team to a match. It's happening this afternoon. I heard it from a teacher yesterday. Luo Guixing has already rented an arena. Really? They're fighting again? Those rankers still haven't had enough. Of course they are not convinced. They are all on the Genius Youths rankings while none of the members of class president's team are on it. It'd be weird if they kept quiet. Well, good for us. Just means we have a show to watch this afternoon. Who knows how strong they all are now? Yeah. One thing's for sure, they've left us in the dust. You know, back then I had believed Luo Guixing and Wu Sidua would definitely win, but who would have thought class president's team was so powerful? I still don't see anything too special about them, even though they managed a victory. And they even defeated the second grades class. I don't think Luo Guixing's team has got much of a chance. Totally. I feel the same. But let's wait and see. Luo Guixing wouldn't have posed the challenge if he didn't have some confidence. We gotta go watch this match. Patience wearing thin, Shenyi swept her cold gaze through the classroom. The students quieted immediately. Satisfied, she went over the objectives for the academic year. Their task this year was simple: start the construction of a set of one-word battle armor. In order to enter the inner court, they must become one-word battle armor masters by the age of 20. So it was best to start early. Crafting battle armor was no simple task, and it would take much time, effort, and luck to accomplish. In fact, many had secretly begun this after witnessing Tang Wulin's one-word gauntlet. But making progress was another story. While they could buy the required metals, a bottleneck existed in the designs and crafting department. None of them were sufficiently skilled in their professions. Still, after spending a year in Shrek Academy, students of the first grade had grown by leaps and bounds. The end-of-semester exam had stimulated them further, presenting numerous challenges for them to overcome and learn from. Pride had filled their hearts when their class president prevailed over the second grade's team. And in that moment they had been crowned the most powerful class of new students in the past 100 years. Tang Wulin's team and the rankers were the idols of the first grade. The goal they strived for, hoped to one day overtake. Despite the difficulty of obtaining inner court seats, they still dreamed of getting in. Still fought hard for even the barest sliver of a chance. After class ended, Wu Zhongkong called Tang Wulin to his office. "I'll be your referee this afternoon." "Huh? Even you know about it?" Tang Wulin said, astonished. Wu Zhongkong's expression betrayed nothing as usual. "Don't be careless. Luo Guixing's team is very talented. As talented as yours. They've learned from their mistakes. Their loss had only driven them to work harder, and all got full marks on the semester's end exam too." Tang Wulin nodded. "I understand. We won last time because their teamwork was uncoordinated. In fact, their cultivation bases were better than ours. I'm sure that they've fixed their teamwork by now and are much stronger. But Wu Zhongkong shot a sharp look at him. But what? Tang Wulin smiled, almost blindingly so. A fierce light flashed in his eyes. We're even stronger than that. Wu Zhongkong's cold mask cracked for a second, taken aback by Tang Wulin's blazing spirit. Wasn't I just like him back then? Let the facts speak for themselves, Wu Zhongkong declared. Yes. Teacher Wu, I actually had something I wanted to talk to you about too. What is it? His eyes narrowed slightly. This is our second academic year, so I was thinking of challenging the third grade in the latter half of the semester. Will you permit that? Wu Zhongkong blinked a few times. Are you sure? Yes. I want to see how we compare against our seniors. It'll be great motivation for us. Any time is fine, even if it's soon. I'm not sure how well we'll do, though. Unblinkingly, Wu Zhongkong studied Tang Wulin. This brat. Is he trying to bite off more than he can chew? Just how ambitious is he? Challenging the third grade? The third grade differed tremendously from those before it. Due to the structure of Shrek Academy's academic calendar and the 3-year length of grades, everyone in the third grade was approaching 20 years old, if not just over that. Third grade students had been studying at Shrek Academy for 7 years, and the most talented of the bunch were preparing to take the inner court exam. The third grade simply couldn't be compared with the second. They probably had one-word battle armor masters. Tang Wulin's team was extremely talented, but talent alone couldn't overcome the divide between a battle armor master and a regular soul master.